For today's video, I thought I'd attempt the mission inspiration prompt for January. I am a day or two late, I realize that, but I wanted to do it and I had to work my courage up. So the prompts were given to us in a specific order with specific items that we had to use or specific ways we had to do it. I will show the prompts up here. And the prompts were handed down by Mission Controller M, also known as Mike Deacon of MikeDeaconArt.com. I will link his website, his YouTube, and his Facebook page for the Mission Inspiration prompts in the comments below, in the part below. This is what I came up with. I chose to go with memories. So I'm going to switch to my overhead camera and show you how I progress through to the end result of this journal page.
I found them. The first step I've already done, and that is glue square rectangle pieces of card or paper. The reason I went ahead and did this off camera is because once I got them glued down, I had to put something heavy on them and let them set overnight. Because it is watercolor and I glued like pieces of cardboard onto it, they were wanting to peel up and I knew I'd have to let them set. So I just went ahead and did that one off camera just to make it more time, not so time consuming. So the next step is add white or tinted gesso. Now because I have a cardboard color and white watercolor paper, I'm going to do a base coat to make it more uniform. That is going to be a blending of gesso and my Nicole's golden brown. So I'm going to get a little bit of that out on my slick surface here. Golden brown. And some gesso here. And I figure that the gesso will probably make the brown a little bit lighter, which is fine. I'm just going for a more of a unified look here. And even if it's different tones, that's fine. But I just want a more unified coloring here. And because this is boring, and I'm sure you probably don't want to watch the boring stuff, and it is just kind of base coating is all it is, I will speed through this part and come back after I have dried it. So that step's done. It is dry. I went ahead and cleaned up while I was at it because I didn't want to let that gesso set. So the next one is make marks with a brush or a comb. Okay, so I'm going to use a comb. I've got this one here. It's got the 3 points here and then the wider spaces and smaller spaces. So I'm to make marks with that, and I think I'm going to do that in a white or maybe an off-white. No, yeah, I'll do an off-white, antique white. This is the Apple Barrel Antique White. I'm not a big fan of complete white. Never have been. Don't know why. But, so I'll go ahead and put some of that out here. Spread it around a little bit with a brush. And make my marks. Don't know if I'll be able to get any. May not have enough on here. Let's see. Nope, I got enough. Okay, now in the areas that I'm supposed to use also aqua, olive, and blush paint at some point. I don't have those colors. I had to make do with what I have. And what I have is Anita's hot pink, Anita's lime, and Anita's light turquoise. So what I'm going to do is add some of that in the areas where I didn't. I probably shouldn't have put my white marks first. I think I'm going to go over my white marks. I'm going to go ahead and just do that, and then I'll go back and do my white marks. I didn't plan this out other than what I wanted for my focal point, so I'm kindly winging it, and that's not what I usually do. So we'll see how it goes. There's that color. A little bit of pink on there. Try my brush off here. A little bit of my green. So I have all my colors. That one kind of got messy on me. Got it cleaned up quick as bunny. Whoops. Ooh, that's pretty. It's those colors. That's good. I like that. Clean that up. Okay. Closer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get those dried. Now, I'll go back in and redo my white marks so they will show up. Hopefully I'll do a little bit better with them this time. Who knows? We will see. Yeah, much better. I kind of like that technique. I'm going to have to use that more often. Let's go in and dry those. Okay, so the next prompt after make marks with a brush or comb, I kindly had to do that one. Add blocks of handwritten journaling. Okay. Make sure that's, no, that's not dry yet, I don't think. Is that dry? Yeah, it's dry. Okay. I didn't put them in order. I chose not to do it that way. I went from here to here to there to there. That was on purpose, just in case anyone wonders. And this journal entry, being my first one, like I said, is about my mother and having lost her. She's been gone for going on 14 years here this month on the 9th in 8 days, and I thought it only fitting for it to be for her. So there's my journaling. Then draw through a stencil in black or white. This was the hard part for me, deciding which stencil to use. So I may use more than one stencil. I don't know at this point in time. Right now, I'm kind of going to go with the flow, see where it takes me, and just enjoy it. Okay, the next step is to add the focal image or images. For this, I'm adding a picture of my mom. Now, the only picture I had that I really wanted to use was one of me with her, but I wanted her to stand out more. So I enlarged her part, and I'm going to put it over top of me, but it cut the top of her head off. So to remedy that, I'm going to add these flowers around her head like a wreath, and they are in the colors in which I did this in. So that's the next step I need to do. Trim around right there on her neck, under pictures showing. That ended up being very well placed there, my dear mom. So that's what we'll put that at. Okay, we've got that done. Now, I need to figure out the placement of the flowers. I had it figured out, but I accidentally erased it off my phone, of course. So, I will have to refigure it out. So, that's how I want to situate them. So I'm going to get them glued down before I mess it up, which I'm sure I will do anyways and have to fuss with it. This is just a means of which I could cover up where her head was chopped off in the picture. And also I think it's beautiful with the flowers around her head. Especially since they match the colors of what I used here in the background. So, this is not one of the prompts, but it is part of my focal image. So, I thought maybe I could get away with doing it. Seeing it's my first one, I'm trying to stay as much with the prompts as possible. Starting to get cold in here. We got rain again today, and they say it's supposed to switch over to snow tonight, and we could get 1 to 3 inches. I'm kind of getting tired of it, and I'm worried that when we get ready to go to Comic-Con in March, we're going to have to deal with snow then too. Okay. So that's prompt number 6 done. Add a focal image or images. So that's what I came up with. So the next prompt is add shredded book or music text. This is the text that I have, but I haven't shredded it yet. I haven't done anything with it yet, so go ahead and do that now. Give that a little bit of extra time to dry. I'm not going to use any matte medium on any of this. I usually use matte medium on my stuff, but for this I'm not going to. I'm just gluing everything down. I'll probably do that one by hand. Not my preferred choice of way of doing it, but it gets it done. It's just much easier with the ruler, but once it gets to a certain width, it doesn't work no more. So that away. And we will see what we have here. There. One here. Like that. There, like that. I think that's all we need. So, go ahead and get that glued down. Okay, so that one's done. Now the final prompt is add typography, quote, or phrase. I'm going to have to find my quote. I'll be right back. I had a specific quote I wanted to use, and I need to find it, and then I can print it out. Okay, so my quote is, when someone you love becomes a memory, that memory becomes a treasure. So I'm going to print it off on my Dymo Lectra tag, but I'm going to speed it up for you because this would be boring for you to watch me type this in, because I usually end up having to backspace and everything. Okay, turn that off and set that to the side. Figure out how I'm going to place this on there. This is self-adhesive, so I just have to peel and stick. Okay, let me get my scissors out here. Trim a little bit off the end here and not hurt anything, the overall appearance. Okay, so somebody love becomes a memory. That memory becomes a treasure. So that's how I want to place it. Try and get at least as straight as I can for me, which that's a chore within itself. I'm new at really art journaling, so I'm kind of feeling my way as I go, learning what I can, researching as much as I can. I know there's really no right or wrong way to do it, but still, when you're videotaping it, you don't want to feel like you're making a fool of yourself, so at least I don't. So there's that. Now this is not part of the prompt, but I feel like I really want to do some sketchy bordering around this, just to make it pop a little bit more. And because I can. Okay, and I do want to go around my words in black. I do know I want to do that, so let me find my black Sharpie here. Yes. Still not the best in going along the edge of these word strips here, but I'm learning. Like with everything else, it will come. Just have to be patient. And I think I'm going to call that one done.
So that's the journal page finished. I followed each one of the prompts. Now after I went ahead and finished the video, I decided to go ahead and add some white splatters to the page. I just didn't feel like the page was completed without them, so I went ahead and did that. It wasn't a prompt, but it was just something that I felt I needed to add. I'm very happy with the way this page came out. I was very apprehensive and anxious about attempting this, but I do think I like the concept of prompts. It helps me work past any, for lack of a better term, blockage that I have as far as in my creating, and it takes a lot of the control and worry out of my hands to where I can just enjoy the process. So I hope you enjoyed watching that as I proceeded, and if you did, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Until the next time, bye.